All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome
Hi.
to the Nightwalker Readalong live show. I'm just going to let the other hosts introduce themselves very quickly, and then we will get into the meat and potatoes of today's live show.
I'm Beccie from Bex Reads. Thank you, Kaylani, for doing this live show, even though this was my idea. You seem more knowledgeable than me, so I'm letting Kaylani lead this charge. And I finished all 3 books.
I'm Jackie from First Lady Reads, and I did not finish all 3 books. I'm halfway through the very last one. I enjoyed my morning outside way too much, but I do not mind. We can talk spoilers. It's okay, because I'm going to finish it regardless. And I am ready to talk some stuff about these books. Just saying. I got some stuff to say.
And for those of you guys that are coming from Jackie's channel or Becky's channel, I'm Kaylani from Kaylani Simply Me. I did finish all the books, and I do also have some interesting thoughts. I'm very curious to hear, Beccie, about your reread, and then Jackie, what you thought of the books for the very first time.
Yep. Is this your first time? Kaylani?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I thought it was.
So let's talk first impressions, or for Becky's case, second impressions. And tell me what you thought. Hi, Bookworm Yummy.
Hi, Yami. I told Yami to tune in.
Yami. Oh my gosh, I hear you talk about Yami all the time on your channel. She's one of your really
good
friends, right?
She is. She's one of my best friends. I'm like, you need to tune in so we have an audience.
I love that. Hi, Yami.
What were we talking about? Oh, first impressions. So I haven't read these books in 13 years. So most of it I had forgot about. Like, I knew key points, but I had forgotten a lot of the details. For the most part, I still enjoyed them. They all did drop in their ratings for me, but I still very much enjoyed being in the world.
So my first impressions, I had a good time with them. I've never read demon books before, so that was nice. And it was a really interesting take that the demons were like, let me correct that. I've read demon books, but they're never nice. They're always the shit stirrers and the badasses and the bad guys. So having them kind of be like the core focus and I'm supposed to root for them, that was a little new for me. And I liked it. I had a good time with it, but it definitely, if I would have read these when they came out in the early 2000s, I think I would have appreciated them more because I don't feel like they aged very well. Because they were you could definitely tell the time period they were written in, for sure.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. So I think that my first impressions of these books, also I'd like to say, I showed the comment, but hello, thank you for joining. I think for me, my first impressions of the book, I think were a little bit skewed because unfortunately I have read a paranormal romance series set in, a big city like this that I liked a lot more, which is the Black Dagger Brotherhood. So that was, I think it was really hard for me to separate myself from that experience. And I'm not saying the Black Dagger Brotherhood books are the end all be all. They're not the best books out there, but I think because I had so much fun with those and then jumping into these ones, I was expecting, I think, more than what I got from the author. That being said, I still had a fun time with them. I think that the banter in these books are probably the best thing. Like, I liked the banter between the characters and the mind speaking and that kind of stuff, which brought a level of like levity to the books that I wasn't expecting. So that I really enjoyed, but it was definitely an interesting experience to say the least.
Yeah, I don't think this is as expansive as the Black Dagger Brotherhood is.
Yeah,
like these are very like.
Daggers.
You've never read those?
I've only read one of her books, and that was the Bourbon Kings because I'm a bourbon girl, so I was like, I have to read this book. I have to read this one, and that was really good. So she got put on my radar with that one.
Yeah, so. I mean, I enjoyed the Black Dagger Brotherhood too. Back when I read it, but I reread one recently, and I thought you could tell the time periods in which they were written. But I agree, these ones are more like. They're not as expansive as the Black Dagger Brotherhood. They're more like popcorn.
Yeah. And I think my other problem with this book was the fact that it was told in third person, and that really, really threw me off.
Yeah. Did you read them physically, or did you listen to the audio?
Yeah.
What did you think of the audio?
The audios weren't bad. I think I liked the narrator, but yeah, the fact that it was told in third person, and a lot of the times I couldn't figure out who the narrator was actually talking about a lot of the times, because it's so many characters in one room and they're talking from all their perspectives at the same time. I was like, wait a second, who's who? What are we doing?
So did you listen to all three of them? Oh, you listened to them too?
No, I physically read all three of them. But that third person omniscient was pretty bad in Gideon because of the way of their powers, because she was an empath and he was like a medic, so they had to like go internally to each other every single time. And I'm like, okay, so it's just one fucking voice, guys. It's just one voice. That's what we're gonna go with on this. So that one was probably the worst one for that.
I only listened to Elijah on audio. I read the other two, and I didn't particularly like the audio narration of it. Something about like the way I imagined them sounding and the way that the narrators sound just did not match up in my mind.
See, I think because I'm a solely pretty much audiobook listener, I read along physically with a lot of my books, but it's very rare that you'll catch me just physically reading a book. And that's only if like the audiobook literally doesn't exist. Like if it exists, I'm listening to it. So I can recognize a bad audiobook, but I also give audiobooks a little bit more leeway because it provides the access for me to read. So I tend to not like zone in on the narrators too much, but I get what you're saying. They did have some weird voices and some very interesting like personality
accents.
Yeah,
they have some like interesting accents. I was like, huh, that is not what I imagined that to sound like, but okay.
Yeah.
I felt very like the one thing I really enjoyed about reading this so far is I was a big Laurel K. Hamilton fan for the Anita Blake series. So I was feeling all those vibes for a while because it's around the same time period. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, this feels like home to me. This is great. And then I got the Twilight reference and I'm like, and now we're not good. Thanks. I didn't like the Twilight references. Really not a fan of that, but I understood because that was the in thing. But I don't know if it was actually written that way because Jacob came out 3 months after Twilight did. So the craze hadn't started yet. So I don't really know if it was an homage or just a very
I don't know either.
But
speaking of the Black Dagger Brotherhood, there's a character in one of the first Black Dagger Brotherhoods. Her name is Bella. And I read all of those around the same time period. And I'm like, what is with these characters being named Bella?
Yeah. The Twilight references were in Jacob. Jacob's physical description is definitely Jacob from Twilight before he cuts his hair. I'm like, it's down to a T, but he's like still beefed up. So like, what's the second one? New Moon. Is New Moon the second one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like New Moon before he cuts his hair, like he's all beef and buff and everything, but he has the long hair. Definitely that description. And then you have Bella, who's kind of mousy in the beginning, and then she becomes stronger. So there was a lot of really weird ties with that. Like this is almost like, hey, I was Team Jacob, and this is my story for Jacob. And
it's really
I had no problem with that.
Say that because I didn't realize that you were talking about the same thing. But like when I think after I had read Gideon, I was like, wow, Jacob and Bella.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was the thing with Gideon is like Gideon's story. And I said this, like Gideon's story, like Elijah, I'm not experiencing that with right now. But Jacob and Isabella, they're obviously the major plot point for this whole series because they influenced the whole book. They didn't just start the series, they're influencing it. And Gideon, it was almost neck and neck of which book, who this relationship was about. Like Gideon, I found I was getting more of Jacob and Isabella than I was almost getting Gideon and I don't know how you say her. I just call her Legna. That's Lena. I don't know how to say her name. Yeah. So I just felt like I felt kind of like gypped for Gideon because I'm like, damn it. You know, like he's kind of getting like overshadowed by them because of the whole pregnancy thing and like they were the main focal point, but we still had to bring their relationship in. So I feel like he was definitely like a bridge book for me. And I kind of felt bad for him. Not gonna lie. Felt a little bad.
Yes, he was still my favorite.
I
liked his logic.
Gideon. Yes. I like Gideon as a character. I don't know if I loved his book, but I like Gideon as a character.
Yeah.
That being said, I didn't realize how attached I was to Gideon until what happened to him in Elijah. And I was like, wait a second. You can't do that to me. Like, I'm not ready.
It was, yeah. he's still one of my favorite characters just because he's so like pragmatic and so just to the point. And yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He's just very much like, this is what I mean. I'm not like confusing you or bullshitting you. I'm just saying exactly what I mean type of man. And I like that.
But then you never have to guess about his intentions. Like, you know what he says he means.
Yeah.
But that was my issue with Gideon, is because here's my issue with him, is he, in Jacob, tells them exactly what's going on. He's like, I know what's going on. This is your druid. This is your all this other stuff. Like, he's basically informing them of all of this stuff after they find out the prophecy. So here's my problem. You knew all this shit. You knew it all. So why did you spend centuries staying away from her? And when they gave me the reason, it was not justifiable. I'm like, because you saw her mother, like you worked on her mother when she was dying. That's the reason you stayed away from her. So she didn't associate you with that. That was stupid. That didn't really sway me very much. I'm like, you're so pragmatic. You're so logical. You say it like it is. You don't sugarcoat shit, but you are completely not acknowledging it for yourself. That's dumb. And
he's a take my advice, I don't take my own advice kind of guy.
And I was like, really? He's the ancient of all of us. Are you really gonna say that? Damn it.
Yeah.
No. I expected that from Noah. That seemed more like a Noah characteristic than a Gideon characteristic. And it kind of bothered me. But out of the three, Elijah's my favorite because he seems the funniest.
I'm actually curious to know what your guys' thought process is on the cross-species relationship between Elijah and Sienna.
I saw it coming.
I liked it.
You saw it coming? I think I did too. I like the little setups that they do. Because I knew that Gideon and Lena were going to get together at the end of Jacob too. They just had those little hint drops. But
the predictability of this series is pretty evident, which I don't know if that's intentional or if it's a happy coincidence. I don't really know. I'm not a huge fan of the predictability element in it, but Elijah and Sienna, when I saw her, I was like, yeah, there it is. That's it. He's going to be the one that does the cool, funky, kinky animal sex chick. Yeah, that's what that's going to be him, because he's wind. You can't, I mean, look at his element. You can't control the wind. You can't bottle it. You can't control it. So it's whatever he floats his boat. So it's like, he's going to be the most free out of all of them, I think. Jacob, obvious, he's going to go with the more traditional path of how they're supposed to be fated. And Gideon, he's an ancient. He's not going to go mix in races. He's like, no, I'm sticking with a demon chick. Thank you. Like, it was obvious. The pairings.
True. And I also feel like a little bit gypped because, they have these relationships that you see spin off of each other, but the fact that we never got Elena's sister's story, I think she wrote a little novella, but like I wanted a full-length novel about Kai. I think his name is Kai, right? Kai and
Cain.
Cain. Oh, Cain. Yeah, Cain.
Yeah.
Cain and whatever her name was.
Yeah.
Corinne.
There we go. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if she probably did write a novella. I just don't think I ever read it.
Yeah, I think it's the 1.5 in the series, but
okay.
It wasn't on my list, and I had so many books to get through this one. I was not going to read it.
I'm not going to complete my TBR. I don't know if he was shocked by that. I'm not. I'm not.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
Go ahead, Jackie.
What I am kind of curious to know, because this is my first time reading this, so Beccie, this is a question for you. You said that your scores dropped.
Mm-hmm.
Did they drop significantly? Or
no, like Jacob stayed the same. He was always a 4-star read for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I like base my star ratings on like when I go to write my review, if I can list like 4 things that I like about the book, I give it a 4-star. Okay. That's just how I do my reviews. Mm-hmm. So he stayed the same. It was a low 4-star for me. Gideon, he got 5 stars from me the first time I read it. This time around, I gave him 4.5 because I still liked him a lot better than Jacob. But I noticed that like Lena's character, she annoyed me a little bit upon reread. because I guess I didn't realize like just how immature she could be at times.
Yeah.
And then Elijah, he went from like a 4-star to a 3-star because I could not get into his book at all. I was like, for most of it, I was just like, they just sex. I thought it was more sex than plot. And I needed that mesh that I didn't realize.
Not why I like him.
That long.
Let's just be honest about that one.
I mean, listen, I like spice as much as the next person. You guys know, like I'm a spice fiend. But I was listening to it in the car, and like I was so bored because 30 pages, cool. 50 pages of constant whatever it was like, get to the point.
It was like foreplay all the way up to, and then it was sex, and I'm like, good God, they've never left this cave in 2 chapters.
I will admit that the first time I don't want to say hook up because they don't actually hook up. She freaks out. He kisses her. There was a point I'm like, this is a fucking kiss, dude. This is a kiss. It's not this fucking long. Move along. Let's go. Kisses are not. I would get bored. I love foreplay and making out just as much as the next girl. Trust me. I love it. But you kiss me for 30 fucking minutes standing in some fucking cold ass water. I'm going to lose my shit, and not in a good way. Okay. I'm not.
It was lengthy, let me tell you. I had it on like 2.5 speed, and I'm like, am I still on the same chapter?
But at least it was okay. So I read a book by Shayla Black. It's called Wicked Ties, and I read it for my book club with my girlfriends, and it reminded me of this moment. When I was reading, I'm like, this is another Wicked Ties. God damn it. No, I'm not kidding you. At least this makeout scene was a lot more entertaining than that scene because he went down on her for 45 pages on the edge of a balcony in a fucking lagoon. Okay. I was like, dude, no girl can hold herself up that fucking long. Not even porn stars can do that shit. Okay. Not happening. So like, it just reminded me of that, but it was like a little tamer version of it. And I was like, man, although I do like the hair thing that she's got going, how the hair can do its own cool thing. I was like, yes, I've got a mane here. That would be awesome power to have. Be like, I can feel things with my hair. Yes.
I will say that I think that there's something to appreciate though about this book being written in the time that it was, because there were very few books that were mainstream published that were as spicy and as sexy as these ones. Black Dagger Brotherhood is obviously one of them, but for the time that it was written, I mean, kudos to you. Like, the sex scenes are hot. They're just a little too long, in my opinion. But, like, go off, girly.
Yeah.
Really, really heavy on the description. Like, I liked her use of the way she described it. It was got to be too much. It's like, but that's also coming from what I'm reading now, going backwards. Like I said, if I would have read these when they came out, I probably would have devoured these sex scenes because they remind me of kind of Laurel K. Hamilton book 6. I'm like, this reminds me of book 6. Jean-Claude and Nita. Yes. Totally reminded me of it. But I just been like, man, this is just too much. This is just too much. And Gideon, you didn't get that. So every single book, where sex scenes are different. Some are super long. Some are just really wordy and kind of confusing because of the voices she's putting in. And then Jacob is just like, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, as many fucking times as we can go. And I was like, okay, it kind of works with the parties involved, I guess. So I like that every book is different in her sex scenes.
I liked Gideon's sex scenes because he could do like that mind thing where he could like get into her body and like stimulate her cells. I thought that was really freaking creative.
I need to get me a guy that can do that.
You want to know where she missed out on the mark on that book? Okay, I said this in my weekly wrap up. This is missed opportunity for this book. So he has this astral projection ability, right? Where he can project himself into any location. It said that he can feel things. It says that he can do things. The only thing he can't do is actually physically heal the person because he has to physically be in contact with them to do it. But everything else he can do. And they make a point to say that she kisses an astral projection of him and it feels like kissing a battery. Do you know how dark you could have gone with an astral projection sex scene? Do you know? No.
Yeah.
Missed fucking opportunity.
No, I don't, because it didn't happen.
Missed. I was like, damn it, no. I was hoping for one of those.
There could have been 2 of him.
Yeah. There could be two of him, and one could be electrocuting you in a really tingly, spine-tingling way, while the other one's doing real shit. Like, I'm sorry, this is no.
Yeah, you're right. It's the best opportunity.
Two heads are better than one, and they're triple the fun. I'm sorry, they are. They are. It's just like, damn it, you miss fucking opportunities here. That was my biggest problem with Gideon, and he was logical enough to figure that out, and he didn't. He didn't.
So I feel like all the women in this series had their ups and their downs.
Mm-hmm.
But is there a personal female lead that you liked the most? I like the fact that they're all strong female characters, but is there one that you were particularly drawn to?
For what I've gotten from Sienna.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as much as I didn't like the story, I feel like I liked Sienna. She was the favorite because she was very confident. She was very powerful. She really knew what she wanted. And she wasn't I felt like the other two had their moments of like insecurities and immaturities, and I felt like Sienna just didn't have that. Yeah. She was naive in certain areas, but she took charge of herself and she knew what she wanted, and she wasn't too immature. So I feel like definitely her.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite, Keelan?
I would say Sienna the same, because I feel like I like settings where you're talking about royalty. And so the fact that as a queen, she had so much responsibilities, and her mindset was always like her people first, even though it kind of got wrapped up in her own feelings about the situation and was kind of pushing it onto her people when it was really, she was just afraid. But the fact that her first forefront thought was, what is this going to do to my people? I really like that. I like seeing a character that can care a little bit more about other people in her life than herself.
Yeah.
Hello.
My cat is
freaking
annoying. Stop it.
Jesus. Sienna, I liked her the most because, okay, so Legna was just immature. I'm sorry, the whole dropping to her knees seemed like, this is what you want. God damn it, don't do that. That was stupid. Like, you were kind of a badass in Jacob, and now you're reverting to this like little girl, and I'm like,
yeah. And she kept like saying, oh, he thinks I'm immature, and then she acted immature, and I'm like,
exactly. And Bella was the first, so she was the first one, so she had that kind of like, I'm testing the waters, kind of figuring all that stuff out. And I get where her like insecurities were, because she was the first one this whole thing kind of spiraled around. But Sienna, she's a queen in her own right. She's a badass in her own right. And, I'm sorry, she can turn into a fucking cat. I'm a cat person, okay? Yeah. I just think that's cool. She's cool. I just think that's awesome. I do. And she like took him to the cave.
I like her and Elijah. I just didn't like their story. Like, I feel like Elijah is a great guy. Their story, just too much sex for me.
But if you took the sex out of the book, would you have liked them individually?
Like, if you had just slimmed it down a little bit, I probably would have liked their story better than Jacob, at least.
See, Jacob, there was just way too much freaking back and forth, and then there wasn't enough for me. It's like, let's start and stop. Like, please stop starting and stopping and just get to it. I would appreciate that.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
I don't like coitus interruptus. I think it's shit and it's annoying. So, like, one time, maybe two if it's a really good, like, plot development point, but, like, just because I can't handle this. Although, Jacob's sex made the earth move, okay?
Yeah, for real.
Literally, the earth moved during his sex. So I'm like, well, that's pretty fucking awesome. I'm not gonna lie, that'd be kind of cool. I've lived through earthquakes, so I'm cool with that.
Right, me too. Angel Ming, since I like Sienna, could hold her own with the men and fighting alongside them. Yeah. I feel like Lena was really the only one that was a little bit less.
She just didn't have enough confidence in herself. Yeah. Like, she had the ability to do so much, and she just didn't. She didn't want to show her power.
I mean, really, did she have a really strong power? She could calm people down.
For what she could do, she had, like, she was strong in what she could do. But she didn't even believe in herself for what she could do.
See, I don't even think
It's
she was
like-
that strong even in herself, because the male version of her power is still stronger, and you learn that in Elijah. She can't fix Bella. They need to bring in a male mind demon to do it. Ruth, who is a female mind demon, was more powerful than Lena or Legna, how you say her freaking name. And I'm just like, you're kind of like, you get stuck with the ancient. He's like the most powerful one, and we get the weakest one. Really?
Yeah,
Why?
I think she could have done it if she just trusted herself enough.
Mhm.
And don't ask me why. I think I like Gideon. That is why his book is my favorite, because I love Gideon. I love the old guy.
I love how he was described to look like Legolas and Geralt. So not only do we get Jacob from Twilight in the first one, then we get, the platinum white-haired
silver-haired
elf,
guy. Yeah.
silver elf.
I think that's why I like him.
With silver eyes. And then Elijah, you got of course, the wind-blown, tan, surfer, blonde guy who's like as big as a fucking door. I'm just like,
I didn't want to be like, is Elijah my least favorite because he's blonde? I don't know.
That's mean.
I think I have a time.
Everybody likes what they like, and if you don't like it, if it's not your jam, it's just not going to work for you, okay?
Yeah. But I was like, but is that really why I don't like him as much? Is it because he is blonde?
What I don't like so far in Elijah is, okay, so he, in the first two books, yeah, he gets his ass kicked in the first book, but that's beside the point.
That was funny. That was so funny.
That was hilarious. He's like, she broke my nose. Marsha moment. But yeah, he gets his ass kicked. But for as strong and as overbearing as he is, that we get him later on in his book, okay, so they're in the pool, they're doing their 45-page makeout scene, right? And then she freaks out. And he does the submissive thing. Like, he took the submissive role to her really, really fast. And then in their actual sex scene, he's just like, don't touch me. I can't control what I'm going to do. Dude, shut the fuck up. She's got you wrapped around her fucking finger already. Like, stop. Like, she's laughing at you and your hand is on her throat. You're not in charge. You're just not. Like, she's enjoying this. Shut the fuck up. You got nothing. You're whipped. Let's go.
He was a whipped.
You're whipped by a pussycat.
Yeah.
Literally.
Pussy whipped.
So, Becky, you already read the
Exactly.
next book, but did you get any, Jackie, did you get any hints about who Damien is going to end up with?
I forgot who he ended up with.
Oh, that's right. You haven't finished Elijah.
So what's Damien's power?
Damien's the vampire.
He's a vampire.
Oh, okay. No, that Damien. Okay, I think we're talking like another demon. Oh, I don't know. Without actually encountering the second half of the book, I'm gonna go with maybe the half lycanthrope, the one that's only partial.
I was thinking. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Is that who you're thinking?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, because they've mentioned her in 2 books already, and she's getting a significant role in this one. And her and what's the sister's name?
Corinne?
No,
Sienna?
Sienna's sister.
Oh, Sienna's sister is the one
Yeah.
that's half. Oh, wait, no,
she's
you're
the
talking
half
about.
I'm talking about the other one, the captain. The captain.
Oh, damn, what is her name?
The sister is the half crow, half dolphin, which is a really weird fucking combination. Okay, that's just
It's really weird, huh?
yeah. I'm like,
I'm
It makes
sure.
her dolphin. I was like, dolphin. Of all the things that you could have put.
are they even anywhere near water for that would actually work? Like, I want to know.
Like, of all of the badass animals, and you went with a dolphin?
Yeah,
They're smart.
They are smart, but they also help humans. So
yeah. So here's the thing that they don't explain in this is, so lycanthropes, they reproduce among them, like with other lycanthropes. So is the animal just? It's not apparently genetically passed down, because for the sister to have genetically received this, she'd had to have had an eagle and a dolphin hook up together and then mutated. But her sister's a cat. So, like, how does the animal form, get chosen? That's what I want to know. Because
maybe it's like something internally, like some animal, like, manifests.
But it's also the same thing because, like, Lena and Noah don't have the same powers, and they're siblings. So I think maybe it's just manifestation.
I'm waiting to read his because I'm a redhead. I'm a ginger, so I like the fire starter, and I'm excited to figure out what he is. And since we haven't met a water demon yet, I'm guessing that's gonna be his is some kind of water chick.
All I remember about him is I think he ends up with don't quote me. I think he ends up with like some badass warrior chick. But I could be wrong. Because I haven't read it in like 13 years. So don't ask. After Elijah, I remember shit.
And you said
like I didn't even think that I had read Adam. Yeah. He was my least favorite just because it was so long. His book is so long compared to the other ones. And I didn't even realize that I had read Adam because I didn't even remember it. And then I went back to my story graph, and apparently I have. So I don't know what that's about.
Twice and didn't realize it. I've done that a few times.
Yeah.
Mortal
so it's going to be a surprise what those are about.
I didn't remember either time.
But this is really random, but I think the worst is when you buy a book you didn't realize that you already owned, and then you go home and you're like,
I read that, and then I already unhauled it because I didn't like it.
Guilty?
Oh, that's the worst.
Guilty as charged.
I do that shit all the time.
Yeah. You know, I'm trying to figure out this series. I'm really having a good time with the series. The thing I don't like about it is its predictability. So if I'm right on any of my predictions, I'm gonna be like, I didn't even read the half of the second book or the third book, and I got it right. Damn it. Like, that's my thing. But Damien, I'm interested. That'll be. Is he the next one? Is Damien the next one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So vampires, sweet. I can do that. I like vampires. They're my favorite paranormal creatures. So.
I don't know who he's gonna be with. And I'm looking through this book for any name that stands out to me, and I'm not finding anything. So your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah. My guess is not the sister, but the captain who's half, like, she was born of a human and a license rob. That's who I'm guessing. Because she's got the human side. So that will play to the vampiric side of, the whole blood-sucking thing.
Maybe.
And
like, What was that, Kaylani?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Becky.
I think her name's Anna or Anna something. I think that was her name.
Oh, shit. I don't know. But, like, I wish the plot in Elijah would have... Like, you really didn't get it until the end of the story. That whole Ruth plot line and stuff, and to introduce the next character. Because, like I said, for most of freaking Elijah's books, they just going at it. So I really didn't... pinpoint any character other than Elijah and Sienna in that book.
There's a scene where Sissy, right before she finds Sienna, is talking to the girl. That's the girl I'm talking about, the one she's talking to, the one who's too scared to go looking for Sienna because she pisses her off. She's going to be chained to her throne. That was the line that she used. She's going to chain me. She's going to leash me to her throne. And that's the girl I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. But the whole Ruth element, that was called. That was really, really obvious. Like, I was not surprised in Gideon when they lifted the veil and it's Ruth and Mary. I'm like, oh, man. Damn it.
I will say the thing about these books is they're really good, like, in between books. Like, you just finished, like, a freaking adult fantasy, or you just had a romance, and now it's like, okay, let me just read this because it's a nice bridge book.
Like a palate cleanser?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Serena. Thank you.
Oh, Serena. So the sister.
Oh, Serena. So that's the sister. That's the sister.
Yeah.
So I was wrong. I was wrong. He ends up with a half hawk, half dolphin. Awesome.
I want to see her dolphin powers. So I want to see that work.
Maybe she like goes and puts on some
like, I mean, dolphins they mate for life, so that's one thing.
Electromagnetic fields or something. I don't know.
Well, he can't feed on her, I guess, because
when he makes her come, does she go
All right, so my cackle just came out. That's great, guys. Thank you for that.
Oh my god. I don't remember anything about this book.
I need to listen to the audiobook of that one, because if that does happen, that would be fucking hilarious.
I would die. Not a lot, but all of my heart would die because it's so fucking cheesy. And I love cheese, but that's way too fucking much cheese.
What? I would die.
What the fuck? She become a mermaid? is bullshit.
She can just do it. She's a dolphin eagle. Is that what you said she was? But she can also become a mermaid?
Apparently.
What the hell is their child gonna be? Like a blood-sucking mermaid?
She could like transform into multiple different things because of her sickness. She was like the only person that could do that. But like,
yeah,
I'm just in my head. I'm thinking like, as a writer, I would want to think of like the most badass fucking like dope ass thing to turn it into. And don't get me wrong, mermaids are fucking, they're sick. But like a dolphin, mermaid, bird.
Mating with a vampire.
What happens if she got stuck in between forms? What would she look like as all three?
I don't know. Good Lord. Oh, it was like, she was like, oh, what can I write? What can she turn into?
I mean, eagles don't eat dolphins, but eagles can find small prey. Like, what if, like, can she turn into other types of birds, like a seagull? Because they eat fish. Can she
You said small prey, and the only thing that came to my head. I'm so sorry. I'm a child.
All right. I live in the gutter. It's fine. You can just join me. I've got a condo there with steel reinforced beams for extracurricular activities. You're fine.
It's okay.
She'll find his small prey, all right. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No,
oh my god.
What we've seen of Damien so far, though, like at least what I've seen of Damien so far, is he's friends with Gideon. So maybe I'll like him because I like Gideon. But I'm really tired of hearing about Jacob and Isabella. Not gonna lie, tired of hearing about him.
Yeah.
Kind of over it.
Just a smidge. I do like the little baby though.
Yeah, she did have the baby. Yay.
Yep.
I went for the baby.
That Elijah was the, what's it called? The
Sada, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for the baby to have fire powers because she likes Noah.
Oh.
Yeah, that'd be legit.
Yeah, like I'm
obviously like, it isn't linked to the parents, so.
Well, here's my thing. I'm like, if they, because the predictability, I'm just where my mind's going. I'm like, if they do a time jump at Noah's.
Oh, no. You know what the baby is going to be. It's going to be either a baby of time or space. That's because of the prophecy. Jacob and Isabella's is either going to be the time and space, and Gideon and Lanya's is going to be the whatever the opposite is.
Yeah, but what power are they going to
So one of them's going to be time, the ability to shift time and space.
Oh, okay. That was I just thought it was just a cool name. Like they have these little prophecies at the beginning of these books, and some of them don't make sense. I'm just like, we need further explanation on some of these prophecies.
Just a little bit.
Up.
Because I don't know what the kids do, but I know they're in the prophecy of some baby will be the playmate of the baby to time and space.
Yeah.
So.
And then what about that? I don't know if you got to that part, Jackie, with the freaking magical lady that came and was able to speak to the baby, Gideon's baby.
Not yet. Gideon still hasn't had the baby yet.
Oh no, she was able to speak to him in the womb.
Oh no, not yet.
I think I read that, but I just forgot it.
And Gideon knows, like he knows because he's healing him. That's where I'm at right now. Like I'm literally like I don't know, like.
Oh, you're like pretty.
You're still in the beginning part.
Yeah.
Like nothing has really happened other than the fact that they've had some very long
45 pages worth of sex.
Yeah.
And making out. That's pretty much what they've had. So
yeah. I would say like that's the thing I wish that these books had a little bit more of was some plot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like carry the story. Because if I'm reading a paranormal romance, I want them to be some type of like paranormal plot other than Ruth and what's her fucking face doing random fucking things to people, you know?
I will give Jacob.
And that just doesn't. Yeah, Jacob had the most plot, and then it just sort of it was like romance, and then like, oh yeah, let's put this plot in here at the end now. Mm-hmm. And that's the same thing that happened in Elijah.
I like a good all sex, no plot type of book, but I feel like this series is set up to have plot, but then she gets so far into writing these sex scenes, it's like she forgets that it's supposed to be a book with plot. And then she's like, oh, wait, hold on. Let me back.
Yeah, that's what I get too.
I do like the uniqueness though. Like, so we've had, earth moving sex. We've had where they can like read each other's minds, which is kind of a dope power. Like you can actually
stimulating
deal with the other
sex.
person's feeling and everything. And then you have Gideon, who can make her feel what he's feeling, and then she can make him emotionally feel what he's feeling, what she's feeling. So that's these circular things that they've got going on. I like with the pairing. Elijah kind of has it, except it's all new. Is Sienna the first virgin? Because it's the first one that I think.
No, because Bella was a virgin.
Bella was a virgin too. Okay. Because I remember they
was
making a point to like make a point
they
saying
didn't make a point of Lania was a virgin. No,
yeah.
I don't think Lania was. Yeah, but Isabella was.
Okay, I couldn't remember. But they made a really severe point to tell her that she was a virgin. And by the way, I think Elijah's the only one that has a consent conversation. Pretty sure he's the only one that has a consent conversation because he clearly makes her say, "I choose you."
Yeah.
Which thought that was dope. I like that line.
Although I don't like the idea of them constantly talking about this like mating or this like ceremony that makes them more susceptible to their instincts. But then he's like,
yeah.
But if she doesn't have this conversation with me, I'm going to have sex with her anyway. And it's like,
yeah, I didn't like that either because I was like, he kept saying like, oh, I would do anything not to hurt her, but at the same time he's like, if she doesn't consent to this, I'm going to hurt her.
Yeah, and
it's like, well, which one is it, dude? Can you control yourself or not? Yeah.
Yeah, and then it happened. So they said it multiple times, and it wasn't just Elijah that said it. Noah said it. Gideon said it, and it was just like, are we just all going to talk about the fact that you're down with just raping her if she decides that?
Yeah,
she's not going to.
If she doesn't, yeah.
That's the demons that I'm used to.
That's one thing I didn't like.
You know,
like, yeah, the ones that are like, fuck it, bitch, forget it.
Well, I was telling my friend about this, and she, because I was thinking about maybe picking up one of the books, because next month is my month to pick for my book club, and I was like hoping that I could read these standalone because then I could just like kill two birds with one stone. Can't do that. That's a bad idea. Bad idea. But I was telling her about it, and she's like, "Wait a minute, you're reading a book where the demons are the good guys?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Gave me the same look I did. I was like, "Yep, kind of new, interesting." Like they're trying to protect people instead of devour them. She's like, "Oh, really? Okay, cool."
Yeah. That was nothing new for me. I've read it before.
And you want to know something, which is kind of annoying? They're all very protective of their power names, but it seems like a shit ton of people fucking knows them. Yeah. Like only 2 people are supposed to know your fucking power name, but yet that same person knows like 6 other demons because they were the Sada for 6 other fucking demons. So it's like, really?
Yeah.
Is that special of a concept? No.
Yeah.
But then it's like they're trying to make it so that less people know, but if you have one person that has had like 17 Sada children, then you're just as dangerous as everyone. Like it doesn't. I don't quite.
I didn't like that concept. I was like, that's annoying.
I don't like the idea of the summoning at all. I don't think that it's a solid enough plot line.
No, it's not.
But I think it's something stereotypical of demons. Like she had to give us something that was stereotypical of demon because I mean seriously, when you think of demons or protecting people, what?
Well, then if that's the case, then like make it less known by random ass people.
Yeah.
And then the way that Gideon just gave away his power name, like I'm sorry, I know you love her, but like that wasn't necessary.
Yeah. Yeah. Like why does she need to know that?
Yeah, but he didn't even give it away. She found it. He made her find it in his mind. I'm like, that's dumb. But if she can do that with him, she can do it with everybody else. Does she?
Right?
No.
Yeah.
But she's good.
Legna was probably my least favorite out of every character I've met so far.
She's a good person, Jacquelyn. That's why she hasn't done it. She's a good person. She cares about people.
She's a weak-minded bitch. She is weak, and she is like, oh, Gideon, I'm so tired and worn out. It's okay, baby. Shut the fuck up. Go to bed. Go to bed. I'm tired of hearing you.
It's your nap time, child.
Exactly. Don't want to be a child. Don't act like one. Like, seriously. Stop. Give the Legolas looking girl, Geralt looking guy somebody actually worthwhile. Thank you.
Yeah. So I liked their dynamic of like their age different and him being so much like more experienced than her, like not just sexually but stuff. But yet she just it annoyed me that she was constantly like, he sees me as a child. I'm like, bitch, then stop acting like a child.
But
it's
to
like,
him, you are a
take
fucking
charge
child.
of yourself. And
Yeah.
if you don't want to be seen as that, then take control of your power and, you know, be confident in yourself. And yeah. So that's one of the things that dropped it down in points for me, is because I was reading it and I was like, damn, she really is immature, and I did not like it.
I really liked Gideon, but his book was my least favorite because it had the most missed opportunities for really fucking awesome shit to go down.
Yeah.
It did.
That doesn't surprise me, Jackie. We often don't agree on books.
Yeah, we don't. Actually, which is weird. But no, like I was reading some of those scenes, I'm like, really? He can project and watch and no one knows he's there.
It's because we live in the
Where's the cool, dark, twisty shit?
We want more. Can we just talk about something that I feel like it's pretty normal across all romances, but if you're gonna have a character that is a virgin, right, never has had sex before, never had any type of intimate situation pretty much with anybody, but they are just so good at everything.
Mm-hmm.
They just know exactly what to do to get their person off. They have obviously never been a real person, because that's not how that shit works. You're not just like naturally good at that type of stuff. I mean, maybe some people are, but like from my own experience, that's not how that works.
No.
But it's like they've never had sex before, but oh my gosh, she know how to suck dick. I'm like, okay, sure.
Yeah. And there's no pain, there's no discomfort ever. Ever.
Or they say
he makes it so fucking magical that she just
painful, but then the pain faded away and it was just the best thing I've ever experienced.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yep.
Especially,
and it really annoys me that, you know, the hymen thing is like 5 inches upper and like, oh, I broke through a barrier. I hate that. I'm like, authors, Google some fucking anatomy, okay? It's right there.
It's not that hard.
Like,
it's literally a type away.
That's right, because now I remember the whole Jacob conversation, because he was about to do in the library, but then he felt the barrier and he's like, nope, I can't do that. I'm like,
the barrier.
Yeah, I'm like, are you fucking serious right now? You stop.
Okay, you can just stick your fingers up there and feel it.
Yeah, I'm like, props on you for, stopping, dude. You got some willpower there, but that's fucking stupid, because you didn't have willpower any other fucking time of the damn book. But you have willpower then. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. No, I hate that in romance books when the virgin is like a fucking pro. Like, yeah. I would love to see a scene where they lose the virginity and the guy looks at him and he's like, were you really a virgin? Because you were really good at that.
Or just be like, I just want to see one of those like romances that people just are terrible to each other and they just be like, there's room for improvement.
Well, okay, so I just read I Will Always Love You, and there's a scene, and that's a second chance romance, but this is with not the main hero. And he's perfect. Like, he does everything that she needs, but the sex just isn't quite there. And she has a conversation with her girlfriend, and she's like, well, have you ever told him like what you like? He's like, well, no. And she has a conversation, and that made me think, I'm like, okay, I've had this conversation with people before. Like, I've had it, like, this is what I'm into, but I only know I'm into this because somebody else has done it. Like, she has to have a conversation acknowledging the ex-boyfriend that she's still in love with. This is what he did. This is what I like. Could you try it? And then it works, and then they're fucking happy, and it's great. But I'm like, there needs to be more of that. Because that's like, sometimes you read romance books for reality and realism, like, then sometimes you don't. This is paranormal. Obviously, I'm not going to read this for realism. It's paranormal. But still, like, if you're doing a real action, at least give me something. Like, I don't know, like a scrunched face or something. She was like, it's painful. Let's go for it. Fucking A, dude.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody explains the first time sex as something that, like, it was painful for just a second. And then it was so pleasurable. I'm like,
no.
I love
it. Magical powers, maybe.
Yeah, I personally love it when they okay, so here's my logical brain and really trying to dig in to see like if I can fuck some shit up here. So we got Sienna, who's a virgin. Okay, right? She's a lycanthrope. Heals really fucking fast. Hymen gets broken. It's still part of her anatomy. Why the shit does that not fucking ever heal again?
Wow.
Because it never disappears. It just stretches.
Oh my god.
Is that how that works?
Yes, that's how it works. That's how it works. It never disappears. It just thins over time through stretching. It doesn't break and it's just never there. It just wears away and stretches.
But they still are fast healing, so why? So the elasticity would go back to its normal point. I'm actually discussing the logistics of a hymen and a paranormal creature right now. Like, this is what's going down.
This is our lives now.
Welcome to book 2.
It's like it doesn't heal because it's a natural thing. It will eventually disappear and thin out to the point that it's not there, even if she doesn't have dick.
Whoa.
Well, apparently she's getting a shit ton of it from what you say.
Because even if she fingers herself or something, it's gonna deteriorate over time.
Needless to say, people, I cannot monetize this video.
I don't think I can ever monetize any of my videos because I curse so much, so it's fine.
Oh my god.
I had one of my subscribers tell me, I thoroughly enjoy your unapologetic ramblings. And I'm like, that is my channel to a fucking T. I love it.
You censor yourself once you get monetized.
Huh?
Or don't.
I said you can censor yourself once you get monetized.
I went to a Catholic
and you're like, oh shit, I'm getting money from this.
And like, I know how to bleep myself.
Jackie's videos would all be bleep, 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 bleep.
You wouldn't even be able to hear what she's saying because she's just bleeping the entire time.
Mm-hmm. But she would get that money.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. No. Some of the logistics and but that's one of the problems with paranormal books is because you can go so far wide out that you don't have to think of these like actual things. Like, it's one of the beautiful things about paranormal and fantasy is that you can do whatever you want. But then you have crazy bitches like us who are like, how does this actually work? Like, really? That's not, I don't like it because
like, not all the times I'm constantly thinking of that. It's just things that you see repetitively in romances. And I'm just like, did not one author do a Google search? No? Okay. Mm-hmm. But most of it I can be like, that's fine. It works.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that comes with all reading. Like, even if you're reading a contemporary novel, like, at some point you have to suspend your disbelief because 9 times out of 10, this shit is not happening to people, you know? It's just not. I mean, sometimes it is. Don't get me wrong. But, like, a lot of the times in that sequence of events, no, it's not happening like that. But I get what you're saying. Sometimes I read things and I'm like, where did you even get that information? Like, how did you even come up to that point in your writing where you're like, yeah, we just write that in there. Nobody will know.
Google is your friend.
Google is your friend.
Got a weird question? Google will help you.
Yeah, usually.
So I'm much more forgiving I'm like, with paranormal books, though.
Huh?
I'm much more forgiving with these paranormal and fantasy books than I am with contemporaries, though.
Yeah.
My favorite thing to do, and I say that with a lot of sarcasm in my voice because it's not my favorite thing in the world to do. I actually really despise this about authors when they write sex scenes, is if I have to go look up the position that they're in because it's not clear of what's going on. So I'm like, fuck, and God damn it. Like, if you use a name, that's really easy. But if you don't, I have to sit there and reread the scene. I'm like, okay, their arm is here, their leg. How the fuck is this girl full? She's like a damn pretzel right now. Like, what that? I mean, I know there's flexible people out there, but
that's how I think every time I read.
It can't be over here now. Like, no.
Every time I read a reverse harem, I'm like, but how?
It's like, what hole is it in?
Yeah. How did all 4 people get up in there?
Yep. And then I'm just sitting here because I put myself in the place of the girl, and I'm like, well, I fucking don't like you because I'm a jealous bitch. So,
yeah.
Babies.
Oh,
Say hello.
Hello, little babies.
little Orion.
Say hi.
That is his name, right?
Yes.
I'm like, I like to think I'm remember people's names sometimes.
I didn't even know you had a child. So.
Oh, yes. Yes. That's our first. This is
mine. Her name is Titty.
Are you serious?
Yeah, her name is Titty. Not Kitty, Titty.
I fucking love that.
Yeah.
I would get a cat.
She got it because she's a titty baby, and so that's why her name is Titty.
Titty the cat. Titty the kitty.
And she's really annoying.
Okay, so my immature 13-year-old self just came out. All right, that was comical. That was awesome.
Listen, the vets really enjoy it because when I take her to the vets, they get to yell out "titty," and they're like, "Titty, titty."
And then everyone's looking around like, did she just say? She just said titty?
Yep.
Is that what she said?
Yep. They're like, we love it when she comes because our vet techs love calling her name. I'm like, I bet they do.
That's awesome.
How old is he now?
He's 4 months.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Did you guys ever see the movie Porky's? It's an old, God, probably 70s.
Probably not.
It was like a 70s version of American Pie. So American Pie kind of ripped them off. But there's a scene where they call on the phone and they have a girl over the loudspeaker ask for Mike Hunt. And if you say it fast enough, yeah. I worked with a guy that was actually his name. And I had to say that over the intercom. And I'm like, son of a bitch, I'm not doing this. I'm like, nope.
I was like,
I do it all the time.
Hunt, please come to the front.
But even then, it still sounds like it because it's the Hunt part. It's the last name that really does it.
Mike Hunt.
Mike H.
Yeah. That's what I ended up doing. It's like, I'm not saying it. No. I will say a lot of things, but I'm not about to say that just because I know you're doing this on purpose. This is bullshit.
But the things you could say.
Yeah.
Over the loudspeaker.
Oh, don't worry. I've cracked jokes on the side. He had a great sense of humor. He had to with that kind of name.
Yeah, seriously.
And it wasn't Michael. His real name was Mike. They named him Mike, not Michael. I'm like,
I wonder if their parents knew. They knew and they just liked how much they could get out of it, or if they really were just fucking oblivious.
Yeah, I'm going with both on that. I never met them, but I'm going with both.
Mike Hunt. I can't now. I can't.
You'll never unhear it.
Names are powerful.
Exactly. They have the power to control and destroy you. So,
my
maiden name was Tucker, so I got made fun of all the time. So, all you gotta do is add one little dash to the T, and then you got something else. That's why I never had a Letterman jacket.
Anything?
I never had one because I was not about to put that on my back in cursive because cursive T's look like F's. Nope.
Really, Jackie? That seems like something you would be proud of.
Here's the thing. When I was in high school, I was not the same outspoken girl that I am now. I was outspoken, but I wasn't as, brave with some of my outspoken comments. Like, I only got 4 good comments a year. Now I've upped my ante to about 8. So I didn't want to waste my comebacks on my high school buddies making comments at me. So I came to my own in college.
So with this series, what are we most looking forward to as we go to the next 3 books?
Less predictability.
I don't think that's going to happen.
She said, curb your expectations.
Yeah, you need to lower that bar a lot, honey.
Yeah. Now,
I'm looking forward to remembering what the hell they're about. That's what I'm looking for, because it'll be literally like reading for the first time.
For the second half of them?
Mm-hmm. Because I have no idea.
I am
looking forward to Noah, though, because I'm interested to see how I will feel about his book now that I'm older. just to see if my mind has changed.
She said, "I'm ready for Ruth to die."
Who's the bitch?
Great. Oh, we didn't even. Oh, we haven't gotten to that part yet.
That's okay. You can talk about it. It's all right. I'm finishing the book tonight, so it's fine.
Ruth's daughter.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, bitch, that's what you get.
Well, like
I don't feel like she's a very compelling
villain
villain,
anyway, because she doesn't have her other half. He's gone. So she essentially is going to be a miserable character the rest of her life. So it's like, let's just offer. So I'm expecting her to go away.
The Ruth's daughter?
Yeah, the daughter.
Oh, you won't have to wait long. Yeah, I think that the plot is like the third thing on this author's list.
Yeah, but like, what happens once Ruth is out of the picture?
I'm guessing that they're going to push Ruth all the way to the end of the series, because then what's the point? What are they reading for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless they bring in another element to it, but they haven't really spurned anybody else that we know of. Ruth is only spurned because her daughter, but that's the other thing is like, so I get why Ruth is so pissed off, but they made like, well, I do because her daughter is suffering, but here's the thing. And they mention this in Elijah, the very, very beginning, like when he's like, you know, kind of like dying on the field, which why the fuck we didn't see that scene? I don't know. That's stupid. But, he says it. He's like, why did we not catch this? Why did someone not put their foot down when she refused to give Mary a Sadat and she made her own Sadat? Like, are these demons stupid? Are they stupid?
It took a human woman, Jackie. The human. She is the brains of this operation.
I was like, you're thousands and thousands of years old, and your medic who knows everything didn't catch that and say something because he was in permanent exile.
You need the human to save the world.
Apparently, but she's not even a human. She had lavender eyes. Like, come on! I already knew she was something special about her. You don't have purple eyes, okay? You don't.
Still, she wasn't of their world, so they needed her to figure it out.
You don't have purple eyes.
Maybe they needed an outside person to come in with fresh eyes.
Yeah, although I did like how Noah, when he was in where I'm at with Elijah, Noah was in there. He was making kind of fun of how everybody's matching up and pairing up all of a sudden, like the speed of them all pairing up, because it hasn't happened in thousands and thousands of years, and all of a sudden it's like one happens and it's just like a fucking domino effect. I personally enjoyed that kind of call on the hypocrisy of it, because that's the one thing I don't like about stories romance. What the hell is that?
Motorcycle?
That is my street.
Okay, that's you.
I live on a busy street.
I was looking at Orion over there like, Orion, what's going on over there?
No. Believe me, if that was him, I would be running out of this room right now.
That would have been hilarious.
That is what I have to edit out of most of my videos, because I live on a street that's super loud and busy.
Orion.
I live behind a cornfield. There's a vacant cornfield behind me. It's really nice when they cut down the corn, because it looks like aliens are landing with the combines. It's like, well, it's going to happen eventually. It's fine.
Well, at least it's got to be quieter. Jesus.
It is when the local high school doesn't do something really cool, because the front of my house is on a horseshoe. And so the high school, which is right next door, when they come back from like a really big wind, they'll throw the fire engines and the police cars. And so like, I'll just, where my couch is located, I can see out the window of my front door. So all of a sudden in the middle of the night, I'll start seeing cherries and berries just flying. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Because I'm at the end of the horseshoe. I'm the curve. So yeah, that's really kind of scary at times. And like, oh, high school probably did something cool. Let's go out and cheer them on. My kid doesn't go to that high school. That's fine. So
he's a pretty quiet baby.
He is.
Oh yeah, he's great. He needed that. But other than that,
He's great. I was like, yeah,
that was convincing. Kayla. Oh yeah, he's great.
No, seriously, he is the epitome of a perfect baby. Like, we took him to church today, and we sat in an hour and a half service. He was awake the entire time, quiet.
Nice.
I'm like, I have family members that have kids, and I brought him over to a family event, and somebody was holding him, and they're like, "Is he like this all the time?" I said, "Yeah." They're like, "This is not normal, right?" I said, "I know." And I'm scared to have another one because my other one's gonna be a fucking demon child.
Like usually are.
I think that's how it works.
Yep.
I'm the baby, so.
Me too.
So you got away with a lot more.
Well, kind of. My sister is 9.5 years older than me, so she had only child syndrome for a while, and then when I came around, I was like, you're fucking adopted. Like, there's no fucking way you're related to me because we're polar opposites. And then when she moved out earlier, and so I kind of got raised with only child syndrome in my teen years. So we both kind of feel the only child syndrome, but I've always known I've had a sibling. But she says I got away with a lot more. I personally don't think I did. I just think the world changed enough that I was allowed to get away with a lot more than she was. And I'm originally from California, and she grew up in California, in San Diego. I grew up in the Midwest. Like, I did most of my growing up around cornfields and four-wheelers and, seasonal changes. My sister grew up on a beach. That's why I'm as pale as I am. Yeah.
Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that.
All
right. Well, let's wrap this up. I have to get this kid down for a nap. But any last thoughts on the series before we jump into 4, 5, and 6?
Not really. I'm just here for the ride at this point. I don't have high expectations. I'm just hoping that I still enjoy them somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
They are enjoyable. Like, they're not bad books, but like you said,
no, they're not bad.
They're really good for that. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I've been using it for. Is after I do my main reading, like I read these like on the weekends, and they read really fast because I have my Kindle. I didn't buy the books. I got these on my Kindle. So,
is there one that you're looking forward to, Noah?
I'm looking forward to
Is there one you're looking forward to, Kaylani?
I'm looking forward to Damien.
That you think you might enjoy? You looking forward to Damien?
I love a good vampire, so that's what I'm like really pumped for. And then I want to find out who the fuck Adam is, because who the fuck is that guy?
I don't know.
I don't being introduced to an Adam yet.
No.
I don't know.
Watch him be like
either.
Okay, I'm telling you, if she makes him like the original, I'm gonna lose my fucking shit. I'm gonna lose it. Because Adam and Eve, the whole thing, if she even goes in that angle, I'm gonna no.
That, but they are all named after biblical.
They are. But if they make him like the original, and that's why he got the name of Adam, like he's
the older one that nobody remembers type thing, like older than
like
Gideon.
He's been in hiding for years, and he's actually like, the real hardcore king, like whatever. Like I'm gonna lose my shit on that one. Because that would just be what? Cool, but what? Really? So
your guess is as good as mine.
I guess we'll find out.
Yep.
I guess so.
Adam's the last one, right? Adam's the last one, right? Okay.
Yes.
So
she did a spin-off series, but I'm not reading that because I don't even think I read it the first time. It has some book called Ecstasy in it. I think that was the only book that I ever read, and I cannot remember anything about it.
That was one of the ones that was popped on my Kindle. Like, how they pop up other books by the authors, like when you're on pause of the book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think Ecstasy was it. I didn't know that was a spin-off series. I wonder what she spun off.
Yeah, it's like a spin-off of this one, but I can't remember. And I never continued on with that.
Maybe
but as for like the Nightwalkers, maybe. I don't know. But Adam is the last book in this core Nightwalker series. So we'll see what that's about.
Ecstasy. I'm trying to figure out like where I'm at. Maybe we haven't figured that out yet. So.
Alrighty.
But we will do a live show on my channel next.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be on April 30th.
April 30th.
Still don't know a time. Maybe, yeah, same time if that works for you, Kaylani. Or do you need something later? Are you coming back from church around this time?
It really just depends. We decided to go to the 11 o'clock service, but sometimes we go to the 9 o'clock one. Maybe it's just like shoot for 1:30 instead. That way,
Okay. Yeah, we can push it back to even like 2 if that's your time, if that works.
Yeah, 4 o'clock.
Because that'd be. Yeah, because that'd work for me too. Yeah.
Sunday, right? Yeah. Sundays are easy for me.
Okay, sounds good. Then we will come back on the 30th.
2 your time and 5 your time. 5 my time, 2 your time.
And then what time is that for you, Jackie?
Yeah, I'm in the middle of you guys.
Wait, what time zone are you in?
Central.
Central, and then you're Eastern?
I'm Eastern, and you're Pacific, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, that sounds like fun. Thank you, everyone that joined us. Appreciate it. And hopefully you guys will read the last 3 books, and then we can all discuss it. And you're welcome. Thank you for having me. I had a blast. They're fun books. So I'm really excited to get to the last 3, and then it'll be good to finish up a series because I feel like I start so many and I never finish them.
They're easy to talk about, and they're easy to like gush and bitch about at the same time. Like they're really good for that because there's a lot of positives and there's also kind of a lot of like negatives because of, you know, just the genre of the book of it is.
Yeah.
Book of it is.
All right.
Jackie's like, what just came out of my mouth?
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I don't know.
All right, you guys have a fantastic Sunday.
You too. Thanks for tuning in and hosting. Appreciate it.
Yes, of course. We will see you later.
Bye.
Oh, I forgot to end it.